It walked a few steps towards me, and it said in a real voice similar to mine, "If you touch me, I'll be real."
Hello and welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us for episode 36 of the Let's Dream podcast. I'm Casey Lucid and we have our other host.
Hey everyone, I'm Lee.
So we're just going to be going over some more dream stories for today. And as always, thanks everybody that reached out to send these stories to us. And if anybody has anything that they think is interesting they want to share, you can do so on our subreddit, which is the Let's Dream Podcast. Or you could just go to our website, contact at Let's Dream Podcast, or any of the social media, really. Without further ado, let's get into the dream stories. What do you got for us, Lee?
So the first story is from user Puzzled Phoenix. Is this a returning user?
Yeah, actually, Puzzled Phoenix has sent us a couple of really interesting stories.
So it's awesome to see you back. So the dream goes, it all started with me on a stone tower. I looked across and head towards the stairway down to the town nearby. The air screamed the Midwest or South, maybe even Texas. I headed down a floor, and then I see it. Through a massive hole on the side of a tower, I spot a massive dust storm, and some spiraling dust tornadoes off in random places, along the storm's border. The storm hits hard, and what I can guess knocks me out. I wake up to a world covered in dirt and ruin. I make my way to the town, which is pretty populated, despite infrastructure and any form of law gone. The people are all dressed in dusters, or leather armor, simple clothing, masks ranging from clothes to decorated face covering. And the people seemed armed to the teeth. There were small-scale fights taking place throughout the town, settling personal disputes. Despite this, people are relatively normal. I make friends with a mercenary group, and I receive a duster, revolver, and some gloves to help with the mission. The mission was to track down an individual and retrieve them, and the contract said, alive and safe. Not far from the town, we reach the manor. The rest of the group looks for information, valuables, and while avoiding the guards, I end up finding the person we needed to retrieve. It was a woman who was confined to a tub. She was obviously experimented on by the residents, and it resulted in her skin turning gray and having black eyes and small gills. She refused to come with, as it would result in her death. She asked me to end her life. I followed her request, feeling saddened by her suffering. After this, and informing my team, we end up torching the place to avenge the woman and make sure these people can't continue their work. That's the end. Nice old fantasy Wild West dream, huh?
Yeah, definitely. Like the whole time I'm like, where's this going? And yeah, that's really interesting. Thank you, Puzzled Phoenix.
That's where it's going. Yeah, thank you, Puzzled Phoenix. Always interesting dreams from you. It's awesome.
The next person is, next user is Dr. Roch Redated. Let's see, they write, so I've got two dreams, if that's fine with you. One's very short, one's medium in length. Both are pretty decent. Okay, dream one. Man summons death to a race, which, this dream was an Old West. Hey, another Old Western.
Yeah.
Supernatural, dark Western type thing. He hardly wins by beating death to what was unknown to death, the other side of a river. Supernatural entities can't cross water or something. Death threw down his sight in defeat and allowed the man two questions. The man wanted to bring his wife back, so he asked that first. Or rather, he asked where he could go once he got to the afterlife to do it. Death told him that just over a hill, there was a contest held every year for the best sharpshooters around, and whoever won could choose one person to bring back from death. There was also an unlimited amount of time someone could enter into it, apparently. And then he asked how he could win, and I woke up just before the death answered. Dang. A good old dream messing with you. Dream mind messing with you. That's a really cool dream, though. I like that. That's like a fairy tale or something. And let's see. Dream 2. Magic and supernatural powers existed, but people with precognition were discriminated against, and in some cases were blinded and forced to wear a mask so that they couldn't read anyone. Because nobody wants to be told something about a messed up future of theirs they cannot possibly prevent. And that's where that ends.
Man, both of these little dreams have such like ominous foreshadowing.
Yeah, these are both really good setups for stories.
Oh,
I could definitely see like a comic off of these.
Yeah, it sounds really cool, and I love like the fantasy settings.
Yeah, nice.
It's great. All right, so the next user is IRVS. I had this dream for many days consecutively. I was always running from something in a raining forest. Always running out of breath but never stopping. The trees were all thin and tall, and they were very numerous. Every time I tripped or looked behind, I'd wake up. That is until one day I ended up in a place without trees, still surrounded by them, and I looked behind me. It was a shadow, calm and collected. Standing in front of me, its shadow came from it like a cape made of black smoke, much like its hair. The only facial characteristics they had were 3 golden eyes, and a skull similar to that of a goat. I asked it angrily, "What do you want?" It walked a few steps towards me, and it said in a real voice similar to mine, "If you touch me, I'll be real." So I pushed it and I suddenly woke up. I didn't sleep for 3 days after that, and was always looking over my shoulder. Sometimes I still see this shadow in some other dreams.
Whoa. And they said that was a recurring dream.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or at least this entity or this creature was recurring in other dreams.
I really like that. It's creepy, but I like it.
It's creepy, yeah.
Lee, do you ever have like characters that appear in your dreams recurringly?
Myself.
Go on. Other than yourself.
I guess maybe sometimes family members.
Okay.
They're not really characters like significant. They just kind of appear, or like a body in place.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the most common one, family members.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, okay. Well, let's see. The next one that we have here is from Polybius Hypercube. Very cool name. So, they write, I had a dream about going to an opera at a courthouse that's doing a musical like The Music Man, and I tell little brother about the thing where you do a collect call, and when it asks you the name, you go, Mommy Tens pick them up by.
Mom, I'm at Ben's pick me up by.
Oh, they wrote it all as one word. That was kind of funny.
Yeah.
I thought they were like just gibberish, but yeah, I guess. That's cool. Yeah, so they say, Mom, I'm at Ben's pick me up by, and hang up. And then he tries to do it, and I tell him to slow his roll, but he insists while the opera is going, and goes to the payphone and makes a huge scene and interrupts the opera. That's cool. The opera singer somehow knows how to operate a payphone generator, giant machine that burns gas to make payphones work. In the dream, every payphone would have one of these behemoth machines next to it, and tells little brother the box on top isn't what'll fix it, and it's the box on the side. Then later, little brother is working on a giant gas power generator trying to light some columns that are like TV tower antennas, but candles, they're like TV tower antennas, but can't. Okay, and gets one lit as it's dark out, and the singers are building up to a high-pitched crescendo, and it looks really beautiful, and he gets the other one lit, and then the dream ends. Okay, pretty cool. Weird and interesting, but pretty cool. I like the fact that they had the detail about every payphone had like a generator in there that made it work. That's an interesting thing.
Thank you for the interesting dream. It's a very unique setup. I feel like there's something significant about the payphones having a giant gas generator to power it.
Yeah, and I like the fact that it's going on during an opera. What a odd scenario.
And you know, the dreamer in this one isn't that significant. Everyone else is doing things and they're just there.
Yeah, interesting. A lot of layers to this one.
Yeah. Alright, so the next one is from user Hannibal Degla. I had this dream where I walk in the woods and suddenly fall into a not so deep hole with a square pool, and a giant headless snake that's moving around itself is in there. There were stairs on the side, but when I try them, they break. And then I fall. Then they repair themselves again. Then I try again, but they continue to break. I look to the side to see 3 faceless dark characters behind some lab glass or something, and they were laughing at me in some language I didn't understand. One of them was taller than the other 2. And the user comments, "After a lot of thinking, I believe this dream is about addiction and overcoming it."
Huh. Okay. I like that they put their own interpretation there at the end.
I mean, I can see it. So they have this thing tempting them, and it's like this twisted creature trying to pull them back into the hole, and they try to, basically go up, escape it through the stairs, but they break. And then maybe, and I can see that, that being, them falling off the wagon continuously, and then it's a struggle. And then on the other side of it, it's like, I can see that shame being like the feeling of the
people looking.
The people looking at them and laughing, because they can't get out. I can see it.
Yeah, that's very weird, but very I like that that they put that in there, because I think like them putting in that last sentence in there about their interpretation adds a lot of depth to the dream.
Absolutely. It's so strange how twisted your dreams make things.
Yeah.
From like whatever emotions you're feeling. Like it could have been just a normal snake, like a normal pool, but it isn't,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I love seeing how our dreams generate all of these metaphorical scenarios that are kind of like expressed from the emotions that are backing them. It's always really interesting to see.
Yeah. So I hope this user, if whatever they're struggling, does eventually, overcome it. Good luck to you, buddy.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. So the next dream that we have is user named Magnum Pete 1112. Had a dream where I was using geokinesis to fire rocks as though they were bullets at our enemies. We were in a war zone and buildings blown out around us, rebar showing as some concrete seemed to desperately hold on to what it once was. I was firing in a mad spray to keep them back as I defend those hiding behind me. The enemy desperately wanted to capture them for some reason. And that's it. That's literally all they wrote. This reminds me of kind of like I also really like that this user did it this way, because it reminds me of how dreams are sometimes. It's just like a little snippet. It's almost like you see a scene from a movie and you're like, I have no idea what's going on, but that was it. That was the dream.
Yeah, that's how the Dr. Rauch Redated was. It's pretty much like a huge setup, and then, oh, you want the answer? You want closure? Psych.
Yeah. Freaking dreams, man. But I don't know, that has, I hate it when they do that, where it's like, it's like it's building up to something, but then it doesn't give you that thing. But I like this dream, the one that Magnum Pete shared, because it's kind of like, it sort of reminds me of No Country for Old Men in a way. Not the plot or anything, just the way that it's read. It's like just a scene of something that's happening, and then that's it. Like there's nothing else.
Yeah. That reminds me though. Have you ever been able to like go back to the same dream?
I have, yes.
Yeah.
And obviously you have to be lucid to do that. Although like it happens sometimes. Like if your intention is to go back into the dream, or like a dream that you've had before that you want to resolve or whatever, obviously being lucid helps a lot. But I have had recurring dreams, like same setting, different dream, without wanting to do it, if that's what you're asking.
Okay. Well, okay. So my example would be, I remember when I was a kid, I used to love Mega Man.
Nice.
Mega Man's still cool, but like I really love playing the game. So like, I remember having a dream about it, and where I was like doing all these cool badass shit, and I was blasting people as Mega Man, and that I woke up in the middle of the night. I'm like, oh man, what am I doing? I want to go back to to that dream because it was cool. And I remember, like, as I was falling back to sleep, I just kept thinking about how cool it was and
Nice.
recollecting what I experienced. And then, like, I remember, like, the rest for that night, I went back and started, like, doing more Mega Man shit.
Nice. Yeah, I think so. That's actually something that Dr. Labarge talks about in his books and from his research. Like, intent is really, really, really key. In dreams, because it's like what you intend to do, like in your dream, it's like you're that much more like if you go to bed with an intention to lucid dream, you're that much more likely to actually have a lucid dream. And similar with like the type of dream that you want to have. So that's a good point. Although, similar one to what you said, that reminds me, I actually had a dream. This is years ago, like a long time ago. So do you remember the game Shinobi for the PlayStation 2?
I think so.
So I had played that game many times, gotten all the way through, and I never, ever, ever beat the final boss, because the final boss is like impossible to beat. But so I've had dreams, and I remember this specifically. I've had dreams where in the dream, like I beat the final boss, but it's not just that I beat the final boss. I just like violently like bludgeoned him to death, with my sword, because like in real life I could never beat him. So it's like just in my dream I was like just really frustrated. So it played out. But like I was never able to beat him in real life, but only in my dreams I was able to do it. But that's like one similar story that I would say I had. So yeah, intent.
Intent. Yeah.
Cool. So I think that was all the stories that we had this time around. A little bit shorter, but I do thank you guys for sharing all those with us.
Yeah, those are all very interesting dreams. Very cool. And we love to hear your dream stories. Definitely leave us a comment wherever you may be on whatever, because we're on YouTube, Podbean, Apple
Podcast,
wherever you are. Leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Casey's doing the things in the morning, the drawing the storyboards for whatever dream he's on currently, and you guys can go check him out there at just Let's Dream Podcast on YouTube. And
actually pretty soon we'll start doing, like, next week my schedule changes, so we'll be able to start doing like live streams, where people can like call in, and like we can, like, we were thinking about doing like the police sketches, like the dream character police sketches. Yeah. So people can if you go on that channel, you'll see what we're talking about, and we'll start doing that here pretty soon.
Yeah. And I think that's all we have. And make sure you guys are keeping up with your dream journals, and we'll see you in the next one.